Next, we have a proclamation for Veterans Day. Whereas Veterans Day, November 11th, is set aside annually for celebrating our military veterans and was begun as the commemoration of the end of hostilities of World War I, which went into effect on the 11th hour of the 11th day of the 11th month. And whereas November 11th marks a day to honor Americans veterans for their patriotism, love of country, and willingness to serve and sacrifice for the common good. And whereas in honoring our veterans, we also wish to remember those who have made the ultimate sacrifice, laying down their lives that we may live in freedom. And whereas the city of Snellville especially wishes to remember, commend, and thank all our sons and daughters who have served and given so much to preserve our American way of life. And whereas the local veterans are served by American Legion Post 232 and VFW Post 4180, and it's with pride that we honor both of these organizations for their continued service to Snellville and surrounding communities. Now therefore I, Mayor Kelly D. Couts, and the city of Snellville, who along with the citizens of Snellville, where everybody's proud to be somebody, do hereby recognize Veterans Day 2012 as a day of special remembrance and celebration, honoring American Legion Post 232 and VFW Post 4108, and all the men and women who have served our country in the armed forces of the United States of America. Proclaim this 12th day of November 2012. And we also have a proclamation honoring the American Legion Auxiliary, and I'll read that and then ask that both organizations, or all three organizations, come forward. Whereas the Ladies Auxiliary to the American Legion is conducting its 98th year of volunteer service, and whereas year after year the organization continues to honor those who have made the ultimate sacrifice in the name of freedom by maintaining memorials to their service and sharing their history with our nation's youth, so that what our nation's veterans have done for America will not be forgotten. And whereas Ladies Auxiliary supports the troops currently deployed overseas, and whereas the 8,000 members represent the families of those who have served or are currently on foreign soil protecting our freedom. And whereas the ladies of the American Legion Post 232 are dedicated to the principles and exemplify the commitment to the post and to the veterans in need. Now therefore I, Mayor Kelly D. Couts, and the City Council of the City of Snellville, Georgia, who along with the citizens of Snellville, where everybody's proud to be somebody, hereby recognize Veterans Day 2012 as a day of special remembrance and celebration, and honor the women of the American Legion Post 232 Auxiliary and all the women of the American Legion Auxiliaries across the country, which play an important part in the service to our veterans and their families. Proclaim this 12th day of November 2012. If the members of the VFW, the American Legion, and the American Legion Auxiliary could come forward to accept these proclamations. All of these ladies and gentlemen for their service during the military and their service once they have left, continued service to our community. Now we have a proclamation